Good morning, folks. It's Tuesday, April 12th, 2016, 6:33 a.m. 3 is the number for people, meeting people, getting together with people. And then 6 is the number of intuition. So it's 3, 3, and then 6, because actually, numerology, you read it from the right to the left. Uh, that's how it'll come out best for you. That's how the spirit guides are used to doing it. And on most all planets, we read right to left, up, right to left, up, right to left. Or as you're looking at the camera, it would look like left, right to left, right to left, right to left. I was just using my right hand, my right side. So that's a strong meeting of the people, the strength of people getting together. And then 6 is about intuition, using their intuitive abilities. Um, this video is about religious philosophies, New Age philosophies, um, uh, all the false philosophies. And there's a lot of them. People make them up as we go along, and they actually get fed that information in their head. They're leaned into going ahead and just saying it and getting it out, and then you get all fired up. They're old angels, the first angels when they used to be around. Would, as a spirit guide tells you that, the angel would put its energy into the base of your spine, and then run it up, and you go, "Oh, that's it." Um, that's not the way it always is when people fall in love, but when they meet, have that real hard infatuation, have a child or two or three, and then all of a sudden the crazy can't kill. They want to kill each other. They have to get away from each other. Um, Usually, what's going, and they say, "Why the heck was I with that person?" Things are made to be like that. Lots of times, the angels just kept you going long enough to get the kids because they wanted the two different bodies to get together with the right DNA mix to create a body that would be good for the person that they want to put in it. When I say person, the spirit being, spirit ascension energy. It's funny. This coffee cup says, "Leave the crowd, look within, and then let your dreams soar." Um, it's really pretty cool. Um, if you want to become yourself, you have to spend a little time alone with yourself so you can relax and feel, think, try to understand who you are. And as you do that and kind of relax at the same time, I don't like the word meditation, but it's something that a lot of people understand. But you just relax and flow inside. Just relax. And then once you calm your body down, your body operates much better. Your immune system kicks up hard. But that's also how you go inside yourself to find out who you really are, and also unlock your metaphysical abilities. There's no such thing as a psychic, folks. There's metaphysical abilities. There's people who have strong metaphysical abilities that are calling themselves psychics. But the reason why I say there's no such thing as a psychic, there's a little over 3% of this population that is aware that there's metaphysical stuff everywhere. Heck, it's just now getting to the point where half the people in the United States actually understand that there's got to be life on other planets. They haven't done their own self-exploring yet. So the other 96 point something percent of the population, to them the word psychic is someone has certain abilities that no one's even defined. The word psychic is a box that others like to put you in with their own parameters. They change all the time and say, "No, you're not this, you're not that." There's no such thing. When the whole time they're trying to use their gut feeling, which is a metaphysical ability, a mother's intuition, one of the strongest things there is. 1,200-pound grizzly bear, male. Sorry, my tongue is real sore from the sharp edges of my teeth in the back, having rubbed against the sides of it, so it's swollen. But anyway, the a 1,200-pound male grizzly bear, if it comes upon a 600-pound female with 2, 3 cubs, that bear, that male bear, the big one, that's going to leave. That's going to get the hell out of there. It's not going to run away to start a commotion, but it's going to just turn around and start slowly walking away. It's getting out of there. You don't mess with mama, okay? That same kind of energy, that drive to protect her children, that fires up her solar plexus and other stuff, which cranks up her core energy, what people call a kundalini, where it goes through the crown. And she can access all kinds of information, whether it's a bear, a human body, a bird, same thing. That's the truth, the reality of what exists. Number one, as far as the physical bodies that we have. Number two, you have spirit guides talking to you all the time. The original first being male and female have like almost never talked to anyone. Okay, they never did. They were the ones that people calling God. They're both dead. Yeah, they're both dead. The chair cracked at the same time. It's like, don't talk about that. I'm not trying to elaborate on that. What I'm saying is, they're gone. The original first angels, they're gone. There's some new angels that are a bunch different. Very strong source energy. But anyway, so the things that were really abusing you and controlling your lives and making you go through what's going on, the ones that actually built this creation, they're gone. The angels that were their servants, and if it was time to save you, they'd save you. If it was time for you to break your arm, you're breaking your arm. If it's time for your daughter to die in a house fire, she's dying. In my case, if it was time for me to get in a work accident, doused with gasoline, and burn 60% of my body, 30% bad, second, third degree burns, folks, that happened. Okay, 4/20/20, April 20th, 2000. Head-on car collisions. I've had a lot of fun. These things were done to you. Okay, that's why they happened. Now, if it was time for you not to die yet, and something happened, well, due to the minuscule but partial free will that everyone has had in a body, and the reason why there was any free will is because they couldn't control every little piece of you, everything going on all the time, just the major stuff. So if it was time to save you so you don't get in that car wreck, your angels, your primary archangel, would literally, and sometimes the two of the backups, would literally move time and everything else to save you. There's one instance where a car ran over a little girl. Folks, there's only, this much room under a car, and she's how wide? She was literally phased in and out so the car could go over her and it never touched her. She was like made subdimensional, just like when they beam people, I don't know, off starships. There's a few videos out there. I put one out where people actually caught on a camera that, utilities camera that watches stores and stuff like that, where this one of the new angels actually goes up, just walks up to a store, and then it's late at night, there's a homeless man there, and he just walks up and he just faces right through the wall and goes in and grabs a candy bar and then comes back out, and the poor homeless guy's like, what the? There's another one too that I haven't put up yet, where there's a street, there's a camera that watches a street, and there's a truck coming late at night, and it's got the right of way going through the intersection or whatever. There's also a guy on a bicycle, on a motorcycle, that's pulling like a cart behind it, and literally, the motorcycle cart, the guy should have run him over. Okay, now all of a sudden, you can see something come running in from this. It's a flare. It's a flash. It's a piece of a flash. It softly comes in, grabs him, goes up to it. It's a flash of light, and then all of this, and the truck goes right through. And all of a sudden, over here, it rematerializes. Folks, that's real. That was an angel. Angels are male and female. If you look at the energy of this thing, if you look at it physically, it's like it's a thin, strong male. Not strong like muscles, but it's a male that's strong and walks away like a woman. Angels were male and female; they never separated. Okay, I'm going to post that on Facebook. I opened up a Facebook thing again. The other one was shut down with all the insanity going on. Uh, I don't have a whole lot of time left. Things are coming together, so I can get out of here. People get so attached to these bodies. That's another thing for religions, and I'm not talking about religious people. You can go into a church or temple, whatever. You can feel some love in there, but you can also feel some aggression. People who want to be controlling and everything. Pope Benedict the XVI, the one that was taken out recently. I mean, a while ago. He literally was 87. I'm sorry, he was 57% negative soul. What the heck was he? No, I'm sorry. He was like 87% negative, and he was 57% reptilian, 58% reptilian DNA. It's like 57.7. Anyway, he had some issues, and this new guy is only 27% negative soul, but he's slick. Got to watch out for that guy. Anyway, the reason why I'm bringing this up is a lot of people think, religion and everything. Oh, the pious people. Most of the people that are religious have a lot of love in their hearts. But there's controlling issues there, just like there's controlling issues in religions. So let's go there. Excuse me. Okay. Now, first we'll look at the religions real quick. Christianity. There's a perfect, all-loving, all-forgiving God that, number one, created hell to abuse you and torture your soul when it's pissed, or when he's pissed at you, and he does this eternally. Number two, if there's a Father God, what happened to Mother God? Creation is built on male and female getting together to create a kid. Men loving men, women loving women. It's a gender thing, whatever. I'm talking about for creation to go, there has to be male sperm and female egg. That's the way it is. So what happened to the female part? Okay, number three. If something is all loving and all forgiving, and all it wants to do is take care of you, why? It's people actually have the balls to say it's perfect. Okay, why is everyone called a sinner when supposedly Adam and Eve screwed up and they're punishing everyone else after that? You're kidding me, right? Matthew 17, verses 9 through 13. Okay? JC actually talks, and it's written up there exactly like that. JC talks about a vision that he and some of the disciples, whatever, they're on top of the hill, and they actually saw a few folks, I forget it, the images, John the Baptist, Elijah or something, no, it was Elijah or something, whatever. The main thing is, when they came down the hill, one of the disciples was talking with JC and said, look, I thought that Elijah was coming back and he was going to fix all this stuff. And JC said, yes, he did, but they did not know him by his face, and they had their way with him. Meaning he came back, they didn't recognize him, and they killed him. The person they were talking about, and then it was known, and the Bible says it was known that he was talking about John the Baptist. Okay, how is spirit inside a body called Elijah, and it comes back in another body called John the Baptist, and there's no such thing as reincarnation? Except for the Almighty God that rose from the dead. No, never happened. Okay, something else happened. He never died on a cross. Suffered? Tortured? Oh yeah. Yeah, let things be what they are. Okay? Let things be real. He went through hell, and then to live afterwards. JC was 64 when he actually died. He suffered being, people heard about it. They knew he was still alive. The soldiers, Roman soldiers, they were looking for him. He was a fugitive. You think it didn't, every time he moved his hands or his feet, you think he didn't hurt like hell? Yes, he did. Oh, he suffered. For your sins? What, because of this Adam guy? I mean, how does any of this make any sense to any of you? When I was a kid, I knew things weren't right, but I'm different and I'm here for a reason. But I look back at myself and I said, Jay, what the hell was the matter with you? And then I say, well, it didn't seem right, but when I was involved in the church when I was young, I had to. I had no options. It was like, go ahead and go to church, get involved in the church, become one of those like acolytes, the neophytes, whatever, get involved. Like the Methodist Church, carry the cross, blah, 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 do some sermons, all that stuff. It was that to get my face smacked real hard. So I took the option of doing it. My father had serious control issues. Adopted father. Anyway, so all this stuff about this God thing, it's all a bunch of bunk. I don't care if you say it's God, Allah. I don't care what name you use. It's all bunk. And actually, when people were talking about Father God, they're actually talking about the female part of the original first being. And then that's the part that was moving around in people's lives, making a lot of changes. And then the actual field energy that's everywhere, the original source field, that was the male first being. So anyway, there's Christianity. The others are very similar. Let's look at another one. This is something that a lot of people have come in and out of. And it comes from a desire to want to help out. It comes from a desire to want to help yourself out to a better life for a good number of the people. But for a lot of the people in there, they want more. They feel they deserve more. And they're going to get it because they should have it already because they deserve it. Entitlement. Okay? The other side, the original male and female first being, they made sure that this was a good push. Your governments do that. Entitlement. You're supposed to have this. You're supposed to have that. Yeah, but you don't. Oh, and all this, just the turmoil. There's too much to talk about here. These two books, okay? Creation, the Creation series, okay? The origin. This is how it all. The creation is beginning in your origin. That's how everything started, and then creation is certainly evolving into paradise, which wasn't really. It's not really a true paradise. There's no such thing as a perfect paradise, but at the same time, compared to what you have now, it'll feel like that. The thing is, though, it'll happen gradually, so it'll be something you slide into, and you don't notice it as much. That's the truth. The original first being was 27.5% negative, and then it split itself into two different parts. That in the different parts, the basic part of the energy was the same, and then changed different parameters, different characteristics, different energies, frequencies. It split the different energy frequencies up so that it would be a little bit different, and then you had male and female. After the first being was created through happenstance in the first dimension, that's just what happened. It was loneliness. And then actually got jealousy going. Then the second strong feeling that came out, but I guess to be accurate, it's actually the third feeling that came out was love, and that's when Lily and Ara met. Anyway, that's when the two energy fields came together and exploded into another energy field that created two new beings. Two new energy sources. Believe it or not, it's unicorn and dragon. But I'm getting a little bit off target here. Well, no, away from the main point. I'm not off target at all, but I'm getting away from the main point of what I wanted to talk about. This original first being, male and female, found out in the very beginning there was a male and a female, Lily and Ara, and they were the ones that started having lives immediately. They were source energy, in this. They were the strongest two small. They were the strongest two focal points of source energy there was. Period. Period. The strongest male and female energy in all creation. But they were little, and then they started having let go, and the bodies having lives, and then the main focal point that broke off of Ara, that's what's inside me. It's had 10.846 trillion lives. It's really old, really strong. That's why I can do the stuff I do. No biggie, just whatever. Apple pie, basketball, baseball bat, car. It's something. That's all. So these philosophies of this insanity, the insanity of the law of attraction. Let's take a quick look at that, okay? I mean, just a realistic look. Now, somebody might say, realistic look? Jay talks about stuff no one else can see. Actually, there are some people that can see it. There are some other beings here that are source energy. Actually came from Lily and Ara. Beautiful, loving energy, very strong. Some of them got issues like everything else, okay? And being source is no better than anything else. And as a matter of fact, it carries more problems with it than it does anything else. But it is a much higher power level. So anyway, this stuff is real. You'll find that in the next 100 years, the religion's really going to fall away. People are just going to see for themselves. We have to have our own truths, okay? We have to experience this for ourselves. That's just, common sense, isn't it? No, we're not going to sneeze. Better luck next time. Sorry. Folks, there's spirit everywhere. Right now, there's no one controlling the other side. When the original male and female were taken out, then all of a sudden there was a vacuum. Other things have tried to fill it and run things with the same old format of abuse. And they're not around them anymore either. There's a cleansing going on so that everything can finally be what it is, have lives as it is instead of the abuse. Folks, all this stuff's in the books, okay? They're your books. I had to write them while I was here. And it should have been like 6 volumes instead of 2. Sorry about that. I was trying to, I was doing the best I could whilst fighting stuff and trying to live here. I've got 2 forms of lung disease, degenerative joint disease. I've got some health issues, and my health has been bad for a long time, but since September 1st of 2015, it's been very serious. The last event I had, my voice was actually gurgling from my pneumonia. Anyway, so the law of attraction says, basically, I'm just being general about this. If you know how to ask for something right, the universe power, the great universe power, the power of the universe is going to give it to you if you know how to ask for it right. If you do what it wants you to, it's going to give you what you want because it wants you to have it anyway. Really? If something did exist like that, if it wanted to, number one, if it wanted to give it to you, it would. You'd be born into it. Number 2. Why, if it wasn't some kind of control freak, why would it demand that you ask for it properly? Where's the owner's manual for that? Oh, that's right, Esther Hicks and the others. Actually, law of attraction goes back earlier than them, but they picked it up. Esther Hicks, 27% negative soul, very greedy. A lot of the people in the law of attraction believe in entitlement. More than half of them, just a little over half, good people, tired of suffering, just want some help. So, They think they can walk around and just, oh, love, and everything's fine. No. Creation was built for people to suffer for the spirit people, okay? Spirit beings, that's you, inside a body, which is also you, okay? You're part of it. You are it. Whatever, however you want to look at it. The body's got the two spirits inside what they call the two snakes of the Kundalini. About 60. I call it core energy because it is. About 60% of that core energy. The bigger of the two snakes, suppose as you, if you want to look at it that way, is the real you. Okay, and then the other 40% is part of the Gaia's energy she broke off a long time ago to go in bodies and have lives. Which, by the way, was a new control system. A way to help control the bodies while they're in there. You don't need that earthen energy in there. That was a control mechanism. In the very beginning of having lives, I know about that. I was there, remember? You didn't have that. So anyway, there's something. What the law of attraction is telling you that you're deficient, unable to learn how to ask for something. And then just like you, but if you could, you'd have it. And just like religions, there's always those zealots, those people that extremists, whether they get pushed in their head to do it or paid to do it. Yeah. And then there's some people who have made a ton of money, and they say that must be why it is. So I'll stand behind this. And that kind of glorifies themselves. It's like, I know how to do it. Yep, I did it. See, in the back of their heads, I'm better than you. Wow, really? No one's any better than anyone else, man. We're all family. Everyone has equal rights. That needs to be across the board in this third dimension and every other dimension. Second dimension is where we live as spirit. A foot and a half to the right, 3 foot up. That's where your quote unquote heaven is. Okay, whatever. People, a lot of psychics talk about but they're cool people that are metaphysical practitioners. I'm just trying to push everyone away from the name psychic because that's a false box. Okay, I want them to be known for who they really are, for the heart they have, the compassion, their abilities, their metaphysical abilities, because that's what they are. And everyone has them. They're not a gift that came from God. Oh, come on, man. It's just a part of who you are. So anyway, so with the law of attraction, just like in religions, you have sinners. Okay, you're all bad. You're all screwed up. You can go to church, pay some money. It'll take the edge off that blade, but you're all sinners. You're all screwed up. Okay. Now, with the law of attraction, it's like, see, you don't know better. Okay, you don't know how to do this. You're deficient. You don't know better. You have to learn, and we're going to teach you. Just pay here. And you can feel it. Yes, you can feel it. You know it's true. Yes, but you're not quite there. By this book, by these tapes. Whatever. So what do I say? Basically, when you get down to it, I say relax. Take some time, set it aside for yourself to understand and feel and then understand more about yourself, to help awaken your own abilities. And then the stronger your abilities are, the more awake you are. First you have to awaken, then you become more aware. And it's a cycle, it just keeps going like a snowball, keeps getting bigger. Really nice. And then you see stuff for yourself. Then you have your own truth. That's what this is all about. Okay? So many people think they're talking to angels. Folks, angels don't talk to you. Okay? They don't like to talk. When you're a heavy hitter source energy, like Lily or Ara, they would talk to you. But other than that, they never talk. The spirit guides talk to you, and the angels move the energy up and down your spine and cranking up your endorphins and everything to make you feel things. Excuse me. So anyway, folks, the things with religions and other philosophies like that is they leave you hanging. It's still a control issue. If you can understand you've never done anything wrong and you're not a sinner and there is nothing out there just waiting to give you what you want if you just bow properly at his feet. A lot of people think, oh, bow and everything and praise this, praise that. How many of you, how many of you at all? Show me one person that's had a parent that loved them and took care of them that said, oh, before you come into the room where we reside, you bow. You bow. Pay here. How many parents did that? If you were loving parents, none of them did it. There's not one loving parent that ever did that to you, unless they did it one time trying to be funny, and then and they were only kidding anyway. That's it. If something was worth praise, number one, why would it want it? Number two, why would it allow it? Is that what you do for your children? If you're listening to me, you're here because you have compassion. There's not even 1% of the people that actually are listening to me that, have real serious issues. Aggression issues and negative and stuff like that. So is that what you would do? No. No, because you have love in your heart, you have compassion. How could someone do that to their children? If anything did, it wouldn't be worth a crap. And it sure wouldn't be worth any praise. And when you praise something, you're telling it it's better than you. And it's not. Nothing is better than you. You're not better than anything else. But nothing, anywhere, is better than you. We all have the same equal rights in creation. The fact that we exist gives us that. We don't have to. That's weird. This Herky's energy was at the door. It wasn't him though. He's downstairs. You get on the stairs, he's in the bed to the left side. Herky's got beds all over the house. And the little dog silly posturepedic beds. And lots of times I take two of them, put them together, and put the small bed sheets, I guess twin or something, I think. The small ones. And the ones that have the spring thing in it, so I put it over it and he can lay in there. I need to change the sheets too. Anyway, I'm not beating up religious people or people that are going into these other false philosophies. And I'm not saying somebody should take what I tell you or read my books and say, oh, yes, no. It's information for you to help you become yourself, but it starts by taking time, relaxing, and flowing inside yourself. And you have to be honest with yourself. Some people have some serious issues with that. As you begin to awaken, and folks, it ain't easy. This is not easy. But once you're there, you're there. That's the nice thing. Climbing up a soft mountain that you can walk up, but it's kind of steep. But it's not cliff hanging or anything. But once you get to the top of that mountain and you can look around everywhere, it's beautiful. You get to see a whole lot more of what's out here. And there's a lot of beautiful things in life. Creation was built wrong. Animals have to kill animals all day just to survive. We eat them. They're our greatest blessing. What? The creation was built backwards. It was built upside down by the original first being, and it's being changed. Eventually, these bodies are going to be gone. You're going to have just spirit bodies. It's just you going. You're a body. Your energy literally being put in a form where it's still energy, but it can condense and make a body like the Fae. There's so many changes coming. That's what's cool, and you'll see this with your own two eyes, physical eyes. You'll see it with the pineal gland, with the pineal. You'll see it with the scanner. You'll know about it from just knowledge. Direct knowledge comes in through your crown. You'll feel it with your heart. So, anyway, that's just touching on it. But I'm only going to do a few videos. This is one of the topics I need to discuss. You're not this thing that these religions say you are. You're not defective and need to learn how to ask for something properly. It's like you got to ask, this universal, God or whatever. They're getting away from God. So the universal energy, you have the universal spirit. You have to ask it for something properly before it gives it to you. It doesn't give it to you anyway. Duh. Creation wasn't built like that. And it's changing, but it's not changing into that. You come into a body to learn things as far as be pushed, a little pressure, go through experiences. Almost all of you have had a lot more than 100 million lives. How much can you learn by being in a body? There's a lot to learn in every life, right? This life, you get out of the body, you're your normal self again, free floating spirit. Then you go back in a body with no memory of that. And then you have to learn stuff again. Well, when you get out of your body, you have access to your complete self. You have no idea how incredibly intelligent and powerful you all are. So you come out of your body, and then you have all that information from that life. After you've done it 100 million times or more, there's folks around there's souls around here with more than 1 trillion lives. I've met you, and I've told you, and you know it. What do you learn? Nothing. It's to go into a body to get, hammered a little bit, and you grow, you develop a spirit. The spirit evolves by going into a body and having a life, but it's been pushed so hard that it's become abusive. There's all kinds of, there's abusive frequencies in your body that have to get cleaned out. A lot of that's being taken care of, but abusive frequencies, nasty. Things not like you think. But what I tell you, the information I give you, if you just go ahead and take that and then just take the time to relax and flow down inside yourself. There's some wonderful people here. Dr. Brian L. Weiss is great for meditation and going into past lives. I think he's got an edge on other folks. Stephen D. Farmer from earthmagic.net is awesome. Okay? He's incredible. He's source energy. And he has a little more animal frequencies in him than he does the other ones. But he's complete source energy. There's some wonderful people with some good stuff here. Okay? But they can help you relax and flow, go inside yourself. If someone talks about a deity or something, folks, just back away. Okay? Nothing's any better than anything else. And we've all had lives in all the bodies. Once you understand that, once you find that for yourself, because remember, as you flow inside yourself, I give you a guide for, you see this, you see that, this is what you're looking at. This is how everything happened. As you find it for yourself, you find it for yourself. All I'm doing is tell you when you see this and see that, that's what it is. Okay, I tell you how it happened and everything else. You don't need to believe that, but I had to tell you. I had to bring this information to the third dimension. Those books, folks, are powerful. Those books are the actual truth of how creation started. And I'll give you this right now. The first dimension, it's not in any of the books. Where did it come from? Okay, there's energy that's everywhere floating around that just exists. And then they started coagulating, coming together, and then they started flowing in and out of each other. Now, what I can't access while I'm in a body is to tell you where all that came from. As we understand chronological events, it's like that had to come from somewhere. I can't answer that. That's the only thing. That's about the only thing I really can't answer for you, other than people saying, "When's this going to happen in the future?" Well, there's no way to know because the future's changing all the time, and because people do have more free will right now than they've ever had before, because there's nothing on the other side running things, and it's not coordinated. And then when it is coordinated, these new beings have to learn how to do it properly, and then they're going to turn it over to all the different fields of energy. You can have your own councils and run yourselves. So that's a huge learning process, which, by the way, never stops. And the more someone cares, the better they want your life to be. So they're going to make more changes. So you have learning, making mistakes. You have and trying all different kinds of things. Just trying to get the flow going, and then you have free will getting in there more than you've ever had. I mean that's why telling the future, being able to say what's going on in the future, unless it's tomorrow, stay away from it. Because it's volatile as hell. Some things will be made to happen. Baseball games, football games, they're pretty much set. Okay, but you don't exist. Your metaphysical abilities don't exist for you to just make yourself rich. Okay, that's part of you. You go using that to make yourself rich, and you're going to be stopped. Your spirit guide is going to keep you from getting the information. I try to explain that to some friends of mine. They owned a pizza place, the two of them, and this one guy named Richie said, Jay, it was obvious that the two of them, they didn't like it. They were Catholics, but it's just like I've showed them too much, and I knew too much about different people they were talking to. When the business was going to open up and stuff, it's like Richie said, Jay, why don't you tell me about your new business? And I said, yeah. I said, you have 3 different locations, but you got one that you're looking at very seriously, and you'll have it about 2.5 months. And he said, well, can't you give me a date? A lot of people want that. It's like you're not a quote-unquote psychic unless you have that. That's why I can't stand the word psychic. It's a fake box. And there's no definite answer for this. There's no definite barriers. They just mix it up whatever they want. No, you're not a psychic because you're not this. It's insanity, okay? So I told him, okay, March 18th. Well, March 17th, it just happened. I was in there, had a couple slices of pizza, and he said, he looked at me and he goes, Jay, what's up? What's with you? And I said, man, I'm just tired of what I go through. I said, Richie, I know you don't understand. I said, I fight shit on the other side. I'm doing so much crap. I'm tired of this. I just want to get the hell out of here and get out of my body so I can fix things right and do it in a second instead of going through this crap for years. And so I said, I'm just tired of it, Richie. And he goes, well, look, I just want you to know, today's March 17th. I said, yeah. And he goes, well, you said my new business I would have my new business on March 18th. And I said, oh, yeah, that's right. I don't remember that stuff. I tell you what I need to, I'll go. I'm doing other stuff all the time, fighting. Anyway, so he said, well, Paul just called. Paul's a millionaire. I haven't talked to him in a while when he found out the government agencies were looking at me. So anyway, Richie said, Jay, Paul just called me up, and tomorrow I'm going to go sign the papers and pick him up. So tomorrow, March 18th, I'll have my new business. Joey and I said, okay, great. So he said, see? And I said, yeah, Richie, I said, I know. He goes, Richie knows me. I can tell him, I love you all. It's just, I'm tired of this. When I used to first go in there, I tell people, I was starving. I fed my animals first, and then whatever I could get, I ate. Okay? I've always been thin until the last, I guess, 3 years. And plus my health going down, it's weird. My energy is stronger than it's ever been, but my body's dying. Okay, kind of freak. If I go to a new doctor, they freak out. It's like I'm not even going to do that anymore. My 2 different lung issues, the COPD and these other chronic lower lung infections, they're the number 3 and 4 cause of death on the planet, and both of them are just nuts. Pretty fired up. Anyway, so I used to go in there sometimes, and there were nice people in there. I didn't have the money for a slice of pizza. That was $4.23. All I had was $1 or $2. So I'd walk in. There's a Starbucks next door. I'd get a cup of coffee. Sometimes I'd get folks some rocks and get a free cup of coffee. And then I'd go over to Gino's, and I'd put $1 or $2 in a tip jar and walk out. And when they heard about that, and they said, this guy in overalls, man, he's a nice guy, but he's not right. And then so I did it one time, and Richie, I looked at him. Richie was staring at me like, "What?" And I said, "Hey man, how's it going? See you later." And then he goes, "Hey, whoa, 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 wait a minute. What are you doing?" I said, "Well, I don't have enough money for a slice of pizza, but I got enough money for a tip." I said, "Thanks," and I just left before he tried to offer me a free slice of pizza. Um, I am different. I don't think anybody should be like me. I think they should be like they are. I think they should be them. Um, what better else person to be than you? No one's any better than anyone else, folks. Okay? No one. We're all family. And there's a table being built now, and it goes through multiple dimensions. And our family will be sitting at it, and you'll see each other. Like these blue avians, that's really, Ta'ir, Naag, Ra'ag, two of his sons. Uh, they're antids. And they're so strong telepathically. Ta'ir, he's sourced, by the way. He's so incredibly strong. He can go to 1,000 people and implant an image that all of them see the exact same image. The guy's a powerhouse. He really is. So anyway, we'll be on multiple dimensions, but able to see each other. So we'll actually, our family will finally sit down at one table. Excuse me, the Fae, you see with the pineal gland, because you have to go through dimensions. The scanner actually sees in this dimension, a third dimension, plus, about a half a dimension up, half a dimension below. When I go and you crank you up where the two meet, I blend them together, and then it puts more depth into your scanner and more high definition into your pineal. So, but when I do that, you have to use it. It's like buying a Ferrari and letting it sit in a garage with the keys in your pocket and you're upstairs drinking beer and potato chips. You're not going to get too far, are you? It's hard to relax. Your lives are made like that on purpose. So that's the best thing you can do for yourself, and that's what I have to offer is information. It's not a philosophy. It's not a religion. It's just information. And I help you understand who you really are inside. And when I go in you and crank you up, you start waking up. Your abilities become stronger. They're already there. I'm just cranking the heck out of them. And it also changes your DNA. Okay, you're not going to grow a little arm out of the side of your head or something like that, but it does change your DNA as you start moving more energy through your body, more of your spirit that's already out there moving through your body. That DNA is it's like wiring, internal wiring for your body. If you have a stereo system and speakers, the wire going to those speakers is pretty thin. Look at the wire going into your house. It's huge. Okay, there's a reason for that. This wire going into the house has to feed a whole lot more power. Your DNA is very similar. A little over 50% of the reason for your DNA having to change and get bigger is to handle the extra power. But there's more to it than that. The evolving of your brain and everything else, all that have been worked on, your brains change. They get bigger. As long as you're young enough to where your body's still growing, I don't mean that stops at 19. I'm talking about as we get older, about 45 years old to 80 years old, depending on the person, your head won't grow quite as much. It still grows. Your brain still changes, okay? Don't get me wrong. This is still happening. But the ones that really see the big physical growth in their heads, when I say big, I'm talking about it if you put a string around your head and it just flows down kind of easy, but it touches your head. 3 months later, you won't be able to push it down. You'll have to go like this and try to, push it down on top of your head. I've got MRIs of mine, okay, but I'm different. I have to run so much energy through me. I've been changing, a lot. It used to be a joke with a lot of my friends. Amy from one of the Jaybird Alley Starbucks, she's really cool. Haven't seen her in a long time. She's really powerful solar plexus energy. She's very much in touch with it too. She's a really cool person. And I'm sorry, my throat's starting to hurt. Um, it's part of this stuff I'm going through. Anyway, uh, she made a joke one time saying, "Jay, we have to take a plaster Paris mold of your head every day. It keeps changing. It's funny." But anyway, these people, their heads grow. You can't hardly see it. But when you have a hat you like and you put it on and it gets tighter, that's what it is. Um, it's not abnormal or crazy, but it does grow. Your brain grows. It gets stronger. That's truth. Okay? What exists on the other side that I tell you, I see it. I talk with it. I've had to fight with a lot of it, and a lot of it's dead. Um, I don't really want to go there. I'm trying to say what's on the other side is not fluffy puffy. When you're not in a body, you're not attached to this emotional sucking sponge that keeps you so fired up, and plus the physical stuff slows down your personal frequencies, which makes it a little more negative while you're in the body. It's the physical body that does that. The first dimension, these new beings being born in there, what's going on with them? Well, some of them more negative. There's 4 new ones, by the way, right now growing. Okay, the more negative, the more heavy particulate matter that's in these energy fields as they come together. It takes 5 different energy fields to make to create sentient energy. Okay, spirit, and in number 5, numerology number 5 is movement, physical movement. Gee, imagine that. It's almost like things coincide. You know, they do. It's all simple. I love you, Herc. Be there in a minute, buddy. Anyway, that's the truth of what is. And as you relax and find out who you are, then you can see more for yourself. When you understand what's going on around you, only then can you properly deal with it. Only then can you understand what's going on. Only then can you understand what you can and can't do for yourself while you're in a body. So when you understand what's going on around you, it's a whole lot easier to deal with. And that's the only time you really can, other than trying to deal with each moment at a time. And as people do this, they get a little more calm. Okay? I can be real calm, but then again, I have a lot of moments when I'm not, and I've had to fight this stuff. And there's a lot of you out there that's strong enough now to see it. So, and the fighting's almost over. There's very little left over there. That's an issue, but it's sad that creation was made like this and made to go on forever. How long has there been energy having lives? I had over 4 trillion lives before the first wave of souls was released. There was 5 waves of souls released. My average life comes out to about 237 years, with an average of about 27 years in between. So you multiply that. You multiply 237 by 10.846 trillion, and then you multiply 27 times 10.846 trillion, and you put them together. It's just a little more than that. It's right around there. That's how many years there's been energy having lives. And the souls, the first soul that came out, by the time the first wave of souls came out, it was over about 5/8. The souls have been around for about 5/8 of the time that anything's been having lives. In Lillian era, were the ones that first had them, first 100 million lives. They had it alone with on planets where there's plant essence and planetary essence in there, and like reptiles and stuff. And then after about 100 million lives, the next 200 million lives after that, animals were introduced. And then after a total of 300 million lives had gone by, then you had, and this is a general thing, Then a human and Fey Essence started having lives, and then that went on a bit longer. Uh, and then finally, boom, souls were introduced. So Essence is the fields of Essence that had these first lives. Most of them had over 1 trillion lives. Some more, like 2 trillion. Lily's had over 8 trillion lives, and like I said, I've had over 10. I'm not Ara. I'm the primary focal point of them. That's why I'm anxious to go, so I can get out of this body and just get back together again with what I belong to bring good things about for everybody. Lily and Ara, their energy don't want to run anything. All they want to do is reformat create. They're gonna reformat creation. Ara's gonna do that real soon, but Lily's got a big part. She's healing right now. She's in a neat looking chamber of energy healing, and things are gonna get better, but first it's gonna get a little bit worse. Anyway, that's religious philosophies, this new age philosophies and stuff like that. That's just touching on the basics of them, but that's all you need to understand the fallacies of them. And please remember, it's not the people that flow into a religion or a philosophy, it's the philosophy itself. Okay? I know so many loving religious people. Awesome. It's amazing. Anyway, folks, look, love you, man. You all have a good time, and oh yeah, the I was gonna do hold some in-person classes here in Atlanta, one or at least one. I'm gonna do some webinars instead. Nobody has to leave the house. There's no traveling. There's no time away. All you do is set a little time aside. Um, if you ever want to come visit, let me know. But I'm not in good shape. More importantly, Herky's not in good shape. Okay. Um, he's incredibly strong fortitude. He's one of the new source animals, actually. Uh, very strong, but he's really old and very tired. So I expect I know when it's time to go, we'll be going together, or he'll go first, because I would never leave if he was here in body and I got to go. He looks at me sometimes and just says, "Daddy, when are we going?" And makes me want to bust out in tears. Um, anyway, so April 30th is when I'm going to do this webinar at 12 o'clock midday lunch, and it'll be $150, and we can have up to about 20-25 people is what we put on Skype. I am gonna open up. I'm gonna have a special Skype address for this. I'll announce that to those people who have paid for it and they're going to go ahead and be part of it. But I'll be back on the video here on the internet soon, and I'm going to take a day and try and get people to call and see how many people we can call and see how the Skype works, so I can have that taken care of before it starts. And I have to do that a couple of times, so it'll only be for about 20 minutes or 25 minutes, something like that. Maybe 30 minutes, but a bunch of us are just going to get on Skype and talk. I like that. All right, folks, look, I love you. I'll talk to you again soon. What I'm telling you is just what is. Do whatever you want with it, okay? But it is what it is. Folks, love you. Have a good one.